So what's going on, y'all? This is me, Bree, coming live to you from my local library. And here I am again. Here I am again in the exact same place, not necessarily physically, but just, mentally, maybe seasonally. Here I am again in the exact same place where I was maybe like a year ago. A year ago when I told myself that I was super committed to going hard in the paint on YouTube. Okay. The lie detector determined that that was maybe not necessarily a lie, but it certainly wasn't facts. It certainly wasn't true because as you can see, if you go back and you look at my history, you see I did maybe like 20 plus videos. And then I stopped. And those videos weren't even in like the same like 6 month period. Those videos were spread out over the course of maybe a couple of years, at least a few years. But it's okay. It's okay because I am here and I am telling myself that I am committed to doing what I said I was going to do, which is I want to be a content creator. Now, you may be saying, in case you are familiar with me, that, I have the podcast, the Brown Girl Self Care Podcast, which episodes drop every Monday on iTunes and Spotify, by the way. And I've been doing that for several years, making this podcast specifically for the honoring of the humanity of Black women. But I wanted to move beyond the podcast. And had I stayed consistent, who knows where I would have been. But I'm not going to beat myself up. What I want to do is to hold my feet to the fire. What I want to do is to hold myself accountable and do what I said I wanted to do. I have this vision for my life, and a part of it is being able to live a lifestyle of freedom, of not needing to be dependent on a 9 to 5, of not breaking my body down, doing this crazy labor for minimum wage, if at worst, or at the least, which I had been doing for the last few months, by the way. Okay. Something I never thought that I was going to do. But, when rent needs to be paid and the light bills due and all that stuff, you kind of do what you got to do. But I want to be a woman of my word to myself. I want to be in integrity with myself. And that's why I'm going to continue doing this. I am going to show up for myself. If this sounds familiar to you, I really hope that, first of all, you believe me this time, but that you also think about your journey, your journey of self-care and freedom, okay, and what it means to live or to be in integrity with yourself. For me, it includes doing the things that I said I want to do, moving forward towards this vision that I have, or these goals that I have for my life. And I have this goal for a few reasons, building out on YouTube. Number one, I want to become comfortable with speaking on camera. This has always been one of the goals. I am the type of person where I tend to shrink myself. I tend to hide. I have a problem, or I have a challenge with being visible. And that's one of the reasons why it's so easy for me to podcast, because I'm faceless on the podcast. And I've been able to grow the podcast over the last, 5, 6, however many years, to over almost 9 million downloads. That's an incredible thing for someone who is not a celebrity, not an influencer. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. So I don't have no problem talking on the podcast. But where I do tend to kind of fall behind is the visibility part. And I know that based on the goals that I have and what I feel like my purpose is in life, I'm not being called to shrink. I'm not being called to hide. I'm not being called to, you know, do everything I can, like any excuse in the book, to not be visible and to show up. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I want to get comfortable. And honestly, sometimes when it comes to your goals, it ain't even about being comfortable. Like, I may never be comfortable being on camera. I may never be comfortable doing these type of videos, like making this kind of content. And I think at this point, I have to kind of take that comfortability off the table a bit, and more so just continue to think about what's on the other side of me actually doing this. I may become more comfortable, I may not. It may get a little easier, it may not. And maybe over time, obviously the more you do things, repetitive motion, it kind of becomes second nature, and that's great. But what I'm saying is maybe it will continue to feel this way for me for some time. And still I want to move forward. And also I want to monetize. I want to monetize. Okay. That is very important to me as I continue, in my fifth decade of life, moving forward towards this life of freedom that I have, or like this vision that I have in my mind of how I want to live my life and what feels like more ease and abundance without killing myself for me. And also the connection part is very important for me too, because on the podcast, you know, again, there's a visual, excuse me, there's an audible audio aspect, um, but we're also visual creatures. We're visual creatures. So just being able to make that type of contact with you is very important to me. And then I guess lastly, of all the things, um, I want to talk about different things here on the podcast, excuse me, then on the podcast. There will be some overlap. There will be some overlap, but I want to talk about more things outside of the podcast as far as just kind of like more personal stuff, and also just some of the things that I'm actually doing. Because what I have come to realize is that on the podcast, one thing that I could definitely do better at is I've got the reflection down and the sharing down and the thinking part down, but what I want to be more mindful of is the actual action side of it too, because reflecting, like when we're thinking about our healing journey, whatever that is for you, there are going to be some things you actually need to do. Okay, there are going to be some things that you actually need to move towards or take action on in order to really cement or solidify that the healing, you know, um, especially for someone who tends to think a lot or ruminate or overthink or collect all the data or read all the books or watch all the videos or listen to all the podcasts or like, things like that. At some point, we have to be okay with actually taking action and implementing the things that we learn, because the learning is great. But once you have learned, are you using the excuse of, oh, I need more information before I can do XYZ? Or are you actually implementing the things that you learned? Are you taking the steps? Are you moving beyond just dreaming about your vision or writing your vision down or writing your goals down or thinking about your goals or thinking about your future or, that kind of thing? Got to take some action too. So this is me holding myself accountable. So, hey, girl, what I intend to do, what I'm gonna do is I am challenging myself to create YouTube videos starting today. This is day one for 90 days straight, 90, starting on July 1st, which as of this recording today is the 30th of June. Okay, tomorrow is July 1st. And I know this sounds incredibly crazy, but this is the goal that I have, because I know that once I take the excuse of, oh, I can't be visible, like once I take that, like get that out of my head and take that off the table, it's going to open up so much to me. It's going to open up so much to me. And I want to show you in real time that as scary as it can be, you can move towards your goals, whatever they are. You may not have a visibility challenge. You may not be looking to create content. Like, you know what your goals are. But I know, or I hope, I know how important it is to see it in action in real time. And I love watching people on YouTube. I get so much inspiration when I see Black women on YouTube in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s, and they are showing us in real time whatever it is that their journey is in that season. And I want to do that too, because I know that, or I hope that it can be a source of inspiration for other Black women to see me kind of like going for it. I want you to see me going for it. I am going to go for it. So when you watch these videos, if you do, first of all, thank you. You're going to get what you're going to get, because it's not like I'm trying to show up here perfectly and tell you this is what I do every day in my perfect routine, and these are my perfect thoughts and these are my perfect actions. No, I'm going to show up exactly how I am, and you're going to get what you're going to get. I have to be okay with that, because my goal is not perfection. It's not what I'm trying to show. So sometimes you're going to see a library background. Some days you might see me in my home talking in the living room. Some days I might be outside or in the car or at the park or whatever. I really don't know. But all I can tell you is that my hope is to come to you over the next, I guess now technically 89 days from this point, but it's for a total of 90 days, and really just show you another example of many of Black women who are going for it, whatever that means for them. This is me going for it. This is me going for it. So I really didn't want to make this too long. If you made it this far, sis, thank you so much. If you haven't already, please, if this is your jam, subscribe, hit the subscribe button wherever it is on the YouTube, on your YouTube page, and please check back with me every single day for maybe 5 minutes or even 45 minutes of content of whatever, depending on what it is that's being I'm asked to pour out on that day. I can tell you that tomorrow I am going to be sharing a video that I recorded yesterday, where I'm talking about how yesterday was exactly 2 years of my no contact journey, no contact with my mother. So I just kind of like talk about that in the next video that I recorded yesterday. So if you want to hear more about that, come by tomorrow. I'll drop the video in the morning. And I really need to like lock in on the times that videos will upload and start making time to write out, make a plan for how this content I wanted to kind of like go as far as topics and things like that. I haven't done that yet, but I don't want to procrastinate. And so that's why I'm making this video right now. Okay. All right. So definitely more to come. Again, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button to support me. Come back and watch the videos, please, because again, my goal is to monetize so that I can continue doing this work. And I will definitely 100% see you tomorrow for day 2. All right. And if you're doing something similar, please drop it in the comments. Or if you have some words of encouragement, please drop it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Okay. Let's make this a dialogue. All right. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.